Hello and welcome back to another awesome episode of Changing the Game. I hope you enjoyed our episode last week with Martin where we talked about the science behind rugby, an absolutely amazing episode, so make sure to go check that out. And today we're going to have with us an Olympic diver, Carolina Mendoza. I'm super excited to have her join us today, so let's make sure that we can invite her into the chat, into the live. Super excited to have Carolina, who is an Olympian, who is going to be able to share with us some of the incredible experiences she's had, along with the science that kind of makes that all possible. So inviting her into the chat right now. I hope that you all will have some great questions for us. Let her, hey, hello, Carolina, how are you?
Hi, everyone.
Hello, everyone. I see Brazil. I see Team 2996. People saying hola. So we have some Spanish-speaking countries
Yeah,
joining.
my followers are here, I think. So, hola a todos. Thank you,
Saludos
Alex.
a todos. And we have a lot of first teams in Mexico as well. So we'll have a lot of cross-reference from Mexico as well. I went to the national championships in Monterrey a couple of years ago. So there's
Nice.
a lot of good activity going on in Mexico. And for those who haven't met Carolina yet,
Next time that you're coming so we can see each other.
yes, definitely. I'll have to let you know. I took, we have mutual friend in Carla
Yeah.
and Moni. We took them last time. So I'll take you next time when we have an opportunity to go to Mexico City or Monterrey.
Yeah.
So, well, welcome. Thank you for joining us. I'm super excited to have you here. I was telling everyone that we had an awesome episode last week with rugby. And now we're going to be talking about diving. So two totally different sports, but I'm excited to talk about your background and the experiences that you've had. So let's go into it right away. So tell me a little bit about your kind of background growing up and how you got into the sport. What got you excited about diving?
Well, obviously, diving is my favorite sport, but I did a lot of sports when I was a kid, a child. I'm very
Okay.
thankful with my parents because they introduced me to sports, and I've always liked to do. I always be super active and competitive, and I mean the sport and every sport give me the discipline and strength that I have like until this day. So I'm very
Okay.
thankful for that. But my parents are the one who's like they give me everything, and now I also did gymnastics like say like 6 years.
Okay.
But in Mexico, it's really hard to build a career in gymnastics, but I love like doing all the flips and stuff like that, and like the dancing and all of that.
Okay.
But it's really hard. It's very hard to build a career here. So I always love water too. Like I always being in the pool, like it's amazing water. So it was like the perfect combination of both of us, like both of us worlds. And when I was 10, I decided to practice diving. I told my mom like, hey mom, I want to dive. Like I want to go to the pool. And thanks to the sport, my mom used to do a lot of gymnastics too and running.
Okay.
So yeah, my mom has a lot of contacts in the sport, so she put me on the pool, and now I'm still here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that was actually going to be one of my questions because there seems to be some good crossover between gymnastics and diving.
Yeah.
And so did that skill set really translate well to diving? So,
Yeah, actually, I started not too young. Like all of my friends in diving started like at 5 years old, and I started at 10. But I like gymnastics helped me a lot to like all the basics to introduce to the pool. So yeah,
okay.
it's kind of like the same, but it's super similar.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So I see a lot of comments in here about how wonderful your English is. I know it's not your first language, but people are appreciating you.
Yeah.
And even it seems like people from Mexico impressed by your English as well.
It's not
Um,
best, but I'm trying. You know
you're
that.
doing great. And if there's anything that you struggle with, just let me know. We'll translate it.
Thank you.
Y para los que tienen preguntas en español, Hoy
Podemos,
vamos a hablar, maybe en otro momento podemos hacer uno en español. We'll have to have a separate one in
yeah,
Spanish.
we should do it in Spanish one day. You,
Yeah, that would be great. But today we have to focus on English.
yeah.
But keep throwing in all the hearts and love. I see lots of hearts coming through. Let us know where you're coming from. Denos saber de dónde vienen. And keep your questions ready for Caro. Any questions that you have about her sport, any questions about the science behind that, and any of her experiences. That'll be very helpful if you can throw that in the comments for us, and we'll get to those towards the end. But definitely keep throwing the love and let us know where everyone's coming from. I saw Brazil earlier, obviously different parts of Mexico, and let us know what team you're representing as well. So, so that's how you kind of got engaged with it. You kind of got excited about the sport. What does it take to take that to the next level, though? What does it take to become an elite diver? And how did you determine that you wanted to pursue that to the level that you made it to the Olympics?
Yeah, well, I was very young. I was like 14 years old when I get my pass to the Olympics.
Okay.
And I think it's all about that you have to work for what you want. Like if you really work hard and every day you have the goal in your mind, like I want that, I want that, I want that, it's
Yeah.
gonna happen. Like if you do everything well and you work hard, like you do what you have to do, it's gonna happen. So I think you need to be like, I think you need to train the mind, like mental work. You know, in every sport is the same. You
Yeah.
you need like different kind of exercise or more specific things in every sport. But
Mm-hmm.
one of the most important things in the sport is mental health. You know that, and I think it's very very like you need to work your head because everything is in your mind. But also, I mean, in diving, you need a lot of flexibility, a lot of your legs has to be strong to jump better, and it's all about consistency and discipline. You need to
Yeah.
be like every day because I mean, you know, when people ask you like how many days you train per week or something, and you're like, I train every day. It's like you don't have a life. I mean, you need to work every day. It's like a job like any other person. So I think you need to the discipline, training the mind, mental health is important. And obviously, like you need to focus on what you want and work hard for what you need. You know what you need to do. So I think that's the deal.
Okay. And with that mental strength, does fear ever come into play, or fear of
Yeah.
failure specifically?
Yes, at first when you start, I mean, when you do everything new, it's like this, you know, this like, oh my God, it's something new. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
In diving, it's like I could, I mean, I broke my nose when I was 12
Wow.
years old in the board. So it's like, it's always the fear. It's always, but this fear is like, it's changing with the time, with the pass of years, because I do the same dives that I used to do, I don't know, like 10 years ago, but it's always to find the perfection.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it's the mental health is you need to work on that because sometimes you don't get you don't want to fail, you don't want to lose, you don't want to do it wrong. My sport is a lot of perfection. Like they there are judges that,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so it's like it's not you, you know, you do your dive but someone else is the one who's telling you okay it's good or not. So
Okay.
you need to be like strong to do your dives and be like this secure about yourself and your work. So that's the hardest part, I think, because the dives, I mean, I told you I do the same dives to, I don't know, since I was like 17, 18. So
Mm-hmm.
it's always work, 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 and being prepared, like your mind.
Okay. So kind of being able to understand that failures might happen along the way, but that you need to keep
But
being persistent and keep growing so that you can overcome any of those
yeah,
fears and perfect it.
and also accept it. Like sometimes
Mm-hmm.
we don't we don't accept that we can. I mean, sometimes we are here and you're
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I can't do it wrong. And yes, you can. Even if you are here, I mean, the best ones, sometimes they don't, it's not your day, or I don't
Yeah.
know, whatever, but it's not always perfect, so you need to accept it and to learn about that,
Okay.
and accept that you're wrong, and learn about it. Just not just saying like, okay, today I did it wrong. It's just, okay, what happened, and
Yes.
like what's the best that you can took of that, so
Hmm.
it's always learning. It's always like being present on what you're doing, so you can be conscious on what you have to do better the next day.
Yeah, I think that's such a great lesson for our teams because the challenges we give them are very difficult, and a lot of them have not had the opportunity to try something like this before. So
Yeah,
just being able to understand that as long as you learn something from it, it's not necessarily a failure. As long as you're taking that next step, it helps you actually move towards success because you learned one way that it didn't work, and now
it,
you know not to do that again.
it's
Um,
like you never lose. You always.
yeah.
So if you do it with all your heart, with love, and you do it like with all that you have, you're gonna be like successful. You're gonna be
Hmm.
like easy. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just do it your best. That's it. That's
Okay.
the thing.
I love it. So, is there something that you can share with our audience in something that has really kind of an innovation that has really made a big impact in the sport, like any moment or any type of technology or change in the sport that
Yeah,
you've seen?
I was thinking like I do my homework.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that, but first trampoline was the boards,
Yep.
that the non-slip thing to the in the boards
Okay.
was made with like a type of coconut fiber. It wasn't like, now it's like aluminum alloy, and have like 100 and something holes that allows like the resin stay in the air, allows to the trampolines, like it's more flexible.
Hmm.
So I didn't know that, but this was like, I don't know, like how many years ago, like a lot. But now the technology and everything, and right now I think, I'm not sure, but I think there is like a three types of new springboards. Maybe they
Okay.
jump more, or I don't know, like more higher.
Yeah.
But I will love. I mean, I just told you that I broke my nose in the board, and I know I hear a lot of divers, they crash on the platform. The platform is
Mm.
like, it's a cemento. How do you say cemento?
Like cement, like it's very hard surface.
Really, really hard.
Yeah.
I would love that that somebody could design like a type of material on the
Mhm.
platform, like a gymnastic podium that
Okay.
you can jump higher,
Hmm.
something like that, so you can jump higher, and that will give you more time to do more flips.
Okay.
That would be
Interesting.
like you could, because in the platform, like today, it's, you can't jump, like it's all your strain in your legs.
Hmm.
So if someone could like do some kind of material like gymnastic podium, you can jump more, and also you can avoid the accidents. I mean, if you
Okay.
get too close, you might crash in the platform. So if you crash, it's like, it's not that hard. I will
Hmm.
love that. That will be awesome.
I love it. So you gave our teams, I think, two really good ideas there. One,
Yeah,
actually, maybe more than two.
yeah,
So the non-slip activity or the non-slip materials, I think, is a big deal, especially when you could be potentially be wet or sweaty because you're nervous, or
yeah.
there's a lot of
No,
things
it's
that could
the
impact
water.
your jump.
I mean, the water is in your skin all the time, and
Yeah.
we have a towel that we call it chamois. We have a
Uh-huh.
towel with that, it's tiny,
Okay.
but sometimes you get like, it's water in your skin, so maybe
Yeah.
that could help too. So
Okay.
a lot of ideas here.
Is it? Yeah, this is good. This is great because that's exactly what our teams are looking for: is things that they can work on to innovate and advance the sport. So, is the towel? Let me go into that. Is the towel small by rule, or you just don't want to carry something large
No,
with you? How does that work?
it's more comfortable. I mean,
Okay.
like, I would love to show you, but it's in my room. It's like this big. I don't know.
Okay.
It's not like a towel, like when you go to the shower. It's not like that.
Yeah.
And the material is like, oh, do you know the towels when you wash your car?
Mm-hmm.
It's something like that. It's something
Okay.
like, so they absorb all the water.
Yeah.
So actually it's perfect, but you sometimes you also lose a lot of time doing that.
Mm.
So
Okay.
you don't want to do that. So if you have something that gives you like como pegamento, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
putting your skin, that would be awesome too.
Okay. So in general, something that could help with grip on the surface
Yeah, the grip.
and on your skin. And then maybe teams could work on something that is small and super absorbent,
Yeah.
kind of like the towel. You said they work well, but maybe an even better version that you can have with you.
You know,
I don't. Go
the
ahead.
thing with that towels, they last 1 year.
Okay.
It's 1 year or two, and they start to like, I don't know, like se desmorona. How do you say
Like
desmorona?
they start kind of dissolving or fall. Like
Yeah,
some of the surface falls off.
2 year. If you use it like every day,
Yeah,
after 2 years, you don't have anymore.
it's
So
done. Okay. Yeah, so maybe a longer lasting,
yeah,
super absorbent
yeah,
small towel.
yeah.
I like it that we can use for this. Um, you also mentioned the material in terms of the grip on top of the surface, but then also a softer board. So if you do hit
Yeah,
it, maybe
yeah,
injuries won't be as bad, like your broken nose.
yeah,
And then you also mentioned a more, I guess, a material that would have more spring or more bounce,
yeah.
so you could do more.
Yeah. So you
Okay.
can higher. That would be
I
awesome.
love that because I mean what you guys do is absolutely amazing. The amount of flips and twists and turns that you
Yeah,
do. Imagine if you could jump higher. How cool
yeah,
this sport
yeah.
would be.
That if with this material that we have
Mhm.
already, they do like 4.5 flips. Like
Yeah.
if you have like a little a jump higher, you could do like 5, 6, maybe.
Okay.
It's gonna be crazy. That's
Yeah.
um.
This is great. And the best part about our audience is that some of the students are as young as elementary school. So
Wow,
from 6 years old, they're already getting involved with programming
that's
and
amazing.
building things with Lego. And so right now, maybe some of these ideas sound crazy, but if we inspire one of these students in 10, 15 years,
Yeah,
diving could look very different. So feel
yeah.
free to throw as many crazy, wild, good ideas as you have,
Maybe
whatever you think.
for my kids, for my children.
Yes.
I'm not gonna do it anymore in
Yeah,
my.
for when you're a mom or a coach,
Yeah,
for your future children and athletes.
I'm gonna be proud.
That's yeah. I want to do a quick just Spanish update. If you want to just tell your audience, because a lot of them have been sticking around and I see a lot of the questions in Spanish, just give them like a quick 2 sentences on what we're talking about, so that they have an idea en
Okay,
español.
perfecto. Pues no estoy viendo muchas preguntas. Casi todos son fans de Exatlón, la verdad es
Okay.
que ven Exatlón. Jay también es de Exatlón de Estados Unidos. Y lo que le estaba comentando a Jay era que me gustaría que en la plataforma fuera como de un material como un poco más, no como cemento, que te ayudara a brincar más, para hacer más vueltas y más giros, para tener más tiempo. Entre más brinco, más tiempo tienes. Entonces, estaría increíble que hicieran algún material en la plataforma que sea como el podium de gimnasia, que era lo que mencionaba, para brincar más. También me gustaría que hubiera algún como pegamento para adherirte a tu piel y que no te resbales por el agua. Y la toallita que usamos, que siempre usamos, se llama, bueno, le decimos aquí es gamuza o sami, y es pequeña y absorbe muy bien el agua, pero lo que le decía a Jay es que en 2 años la Sami se desgasta muy rápido, se rompe muy fácil, se deshace. En 2 años ya no tienes gamuza, entonces estaría cool que ellos inventaran un material especial para que eso dure mucho más y sea mucho más absorbente. Hasta aquí el...
Perfect. Perfect. So thank you for sharing that. And to our English speakers, she was just recapping some of the thoughts. And for the Spanish speakers, pues si tienen hijos o amigos o alguien joven que les gusta la ciencia, la matemática o están interesados en robótica, lo que sea que tenga que ver con ciencia y matemática, FIRST es una organización excelente para eso y están presentes en México. So pueden seguir a la cuenta. Y también hay un sitio web para First en México en específico. Se pueden buscar
Yo
ahí.
terminando este en vivo, voy a poner igual la información. La verdad es que es
Ujú.
un proyecto padrísimo que ya ha trabajado Jay ahí, ya tiene tiempo. Y la verdad es que está muy padre porque es lo que hace falta. Igual en nuestro país, creo que en México hace mucha falta este apoyo a todo, ¿no? Incluso al deporte también hace falta el apoyo y esta parte de ciencia y tecnología, porque es lo que tenemos hoy. Creo que la tecnología cada vez va creciendo mucho más y está increíble que con esto puedas ayudarlos y que los motives también a tener nuevas ideas y que puedan innovar cosas para un futuro mejor.
Perfecto. Muchas gracias. That was wonderful. All right. So I think we're doing great in both languages, but we'll continue back into English, as most of the followers of the account are English speakers. But we've got teams all over the world. So no matter where you're
That's
tuning in
amazing.
from, there is a first team nearby, or you can create one. But so thank you. You gave us already a lot of really good ideas and things that I personally wouldn't have thought of. Are there any other areas where people might be surprised to see some science behind your sport?
Well, diving is a lot of, I mean, I think everything is physics.
Yeah.
Diving it's all of that. I mean, the inertia, it's like if your body in the board is like this, if you
Mm-hmm.
jump, your body's gonna go that way. So you have to be conscious in your mind and think like, okay, my body needs to be like super like straight, so if I jump, I go to that direction, you know. So it's a lot of inertia. um it's a lot of biomechanics too. It's like you need to a lot of coordination, but it's like the Newton's third law, like
Okay.
reaction in nature there is an equal and opposite reaction. So we look for the higher and increasing in the board, in like the force that you put in the trampoline,
Mm-hmm.
the higher you're gonna jump. So it's like everything is physics in diving, and a lot of people, I mean, I think you can have an idea of that, but you don't actually know that it's a lot of physics and a lot of like you need to be like, if you think of that, it's like, oh my god, that's true. Like it's
Yeah.
super obvious, but you don't think that. So it's
Okay.
a lot of biomechanics, and I think it's maybe it's more of that, but I'm not really sure. Even me.
So yeah, you're not doing physics equations, but if you can
Exactly.
understand, for example, what causes rotation or how a force is created or angles
Exactly.
and even the way in which you enter the water, I'm sure there's a lot of science and physics
Exactly.
behind that.
Yeah, it's like even I mean, the water, it's a fact because it's funny because if you go in the water like this and
Mm-hmm.
your hands do this with the water,
Okay.
so you go like this and you cut the water so your body goes into the water so you don't have the splash, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like your hands cut the water so your body goes into the water. So it's like,
Okay.
yeah, it's amazing.
That's that's interesting. So can you talk more about why? So I'm trying to see if I can see it. Why
Yeah,
you go like this versus because I think most people in the
yeah.
pool
A
you
lot
go
of,
like this, right?
yeah, it is like, no, you're gonna break your shoulder.
So is that what happens? Your hands would then come
Yeah,
apart and it could cause an injury?
the impact also, that could be science too.
Yeah.
How many time you, like, it's less than a second that you go in, like if you jump and go into the water, I think
Mhm.
it's 1 second or something like that. It's
Okay.
not much, but the la fuerza,
The force?
the force, it's like it's super hard. Like you
Hmm.
sometimes you get in the water and you feel like it's painful in your hands, but
Okay.
it's this is the way that you cut the water because it's
Okay.
too hard. If you do this, you're gonna be like, the water is gonna punch you like
Mm.
just like that. So you have to be super strong in the shoulders because
Okay.
you have all the impact in your, like it's all of your arm.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Wow. So
super hard. What it is?
now I'm gonna when I go to the pool next, I'm gonna start going like this.
Yeah, actually, we can try. Like like everyone here can try like jumping in water like this. I mean,
Hmm.
not too high, like en la orilla.
On the on the edge of a pool, like a
Yeah,
regular edge.
to try like this and like
Hmm.
this, and you can totally see the difference
Okay.
between the impact in your hand.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's super hard.
Yeah. So that's cool. So I think we could go as far as saying if someone understands physics very well, they could become a better diver. Even if, I mean, obviously they
Yeah,
have to work on other things, but the more you understand physics, the
it
better
is.
diver you can be.
Actually, I mean, this is my first interview in English, and
Hmm.
this is my first like in science and like in my sport. You know,
Yeah.
every time we have like the interviews, like it's the same. Like, how do you feel about this competition and what's your goals in the future? But never with science. This is super fun, and I think I'm studying more because every time I get more like more kind of it would be easy maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, this
You're
is
right.
great because so I'm definitely gonna have to take you an event. Once the events are in person
Yeah.
again, we'll go to the one in Mexico City for sure.
Yes, please.
I'll make sure I get that one on my calendar.
Oh
I think
yeah.
that would be a lot of fun. So yeah, that's great, and it's not necessarily intuitive to the average person that's not in the sport. So thank you for sharing that because it's something I think a lot of people didn't understand or know.
Yeah.
Are there any like very common injuries that happen because of that? And do you think there's something that science might be able to help prevent, or is it just more awareness of your body and understanding how you're entering?
I think it's like I think it, in any sport is different, but every
Hmm.
sport have like you know the knees or the shoulder. In diving, the hands because you
Okay.
like it's the first thing you put in water,
Yeah.
and
You
shoulder.
mean so the wrist specifically, la
Yeah,
muñeca,
yeah,
the
the
wrist. Okay. Yeah.
yeah, and the
Okay.
shoulder, and maybe the back, maybe,
Hmm.
but most the shoulder. But I
Okay.
think you need just to be like super strong. Like I started platform when I was like in 10 meters. The impact is super strong,
Hmm.
and I started 10 meters when I was like 12 years old.
Okay.
So
Wow.
right now I'm like I'm super bad, like because
Yeah.
I wasn't that strong, you know. So you need to be like super strong and you need to take care of yourself. But
Hmm.
I don't know, maybe you can do something with that because there is nothing. I mean, I have like 7 years with this pain in my shoulder,
Mm.
and I have to do surgery, but I don't want it because I want to finish my career, and after that I want to do it. But
Okay.
yeah, I mean I think you just need to be consistent in your
Hmm.
in therapy and do a lot of work on your
Okay.
shoulder. Yeah, just
So
that.
maybe there's some science behind the recovery tools and the methods to make sure that you're taking care of those
Yeah,
spots that are taking the most impact.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, definitely.
Great. Are there any areas that you're like, man, this is how we've done it since the beginning of time? Like, there needs to be some innovation in this space. Can you think of any areas where it hasn't really been changed or touched in a long time?
Maybe I mean the one that I told you about the platform that would be
Hmm.
awesome. And I don't know, maybe I think I told you all my wishes. Like the
Okay.
towel, the towel that would be amazing if they long like more. Let me think. I'm not really sure.
That's fine. We don't
Yeah,
necessarily need an answer there.
yeah.
One
I
fun
told
one that I always
you,
share because one of our previous guests was a hurdler, an Olympic hurdler. In track and field, and he mentioned that they still wear the paper bibs, the piece of paper on their chest with the number, and they use
oh,
the little safety pins to put
yeah,
that on, and that's been the same since it always
yeah,
started, and they haven't changed that.
that's right.
One thing I'm thinking of is, and I talked to Carla Salazar, who's also
Yeah,
from Mexico, about gymnastics
yeah.
judging. I'm sure that hasn't changed that much. And is there any technology used to judge, or is it just purely what the judge is
Yeah,
seeing?
actually, that's funny because we used, like in the pictures or there. also they have stickers with the thing that the paper that with the 10, the 9, the 8,
Okay.
like this.
And that's how the judges score you?
Yeah,
Is that
we still have that, but in the, I mean, we have that here in Mexico, but when it's a competition like international competition,
Mhm.
they have like it's like how do you say, like a little computer
Okay.
with numbers,
Okay.
like a bank machine. How do you say when cuando pasas la tarjeta?
Like an ATM machine?
Yeah, but like the little one,
Oh,
terminal. Yeah,
like a little
you
terminal.
you know,
Is it almost like a small iPad or something?
yeah, it's
Or
that, but
okay,
this is connected to the computers with they are all the la suma of
where they add up the total score.
exactly. So they don't have to put it, because if you put all just the card like this,
Hmm.
another person in the table, they put like 10 plus 10 plus 9 plus 8
Okay.
plus 9, and this little machine is just connected to the computer, and they do it like an Excel.
Okay. And
So
so it's automatic.
yeah, it's automatic and it's super easy, but in
Okay.
Mexico we still use this.
Okay. What about the actual like how they're deciding the score on a dive? Is there any replay? Is there anything that helps them see exactly what you did it, or is it just the eye of the judge?
No, it's just the eye of the
Okay.
judge, but in a lot of pools they have like this like a TV, and
Hmm.
you can see your review of your dive, and that
Okay.
you to correct more about yourself, because you
Hmm.
do your dive and you end, and you most of the time you watch your coach and it's like he tell you what to do. But if you watch yourself in a TV, it's
Hmm.
more easy to see what is wrong with you, so that's they have that in a lot of pools, but not in Mexico. We need that, but
We need
yeah,
to bring more of that
but in
technology there.
competition it's just the eye, and you just saw it one time, and
Okay.
they got you, and they put the thing that they want. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So that I mean that could potentially be an area to get a little bit more accurate judging,
Yeah.
or an opportunity to. I could imagine just some kind of camera that could also tell the exact angles in which you entered the water, how
Yeah.
many, like the exact rotation down to like the degree. So did you go 365 degrees instead of 360? Things like that. I'm sure
That
there's also other.
you if you do it wrong, that could be like your dive is wrong and it's a zero.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if that will help us.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you watch it like one time, you can say, "Oh, that looks pretty." But if you watch it in TV and in slow motion, because there is like all the time in the pools in the competitions international, they have the pool, and you can see the re, re, review of your.
Review.
So if you feel like you did it well,
Yeah.
you did it well. But when you see like the review is like, "Oh, that wasn't that well," but yeah. So I don't know, Jay.
So we want some technology, but not too much
Yeah.
technology in the scoring.
Or you can do it, but once I retire, you can do whatever you want.
There you go. That's great. So it looks like Yahaira Paola said it's incredible what hasn't changed. So it's interesting to see again not only the innovation but the areas that haven't changed a lot. It's interesting kind of the balance there. Um, One other area I was thinking of in this, and I'm not sure if you've been engaged with this part of it as well, but the different types of diving. So I know you mentioned you had done 10 meters, so that's like 30 feet. But
Yeah.
there's some that's with the springboard, and there's other. Is it called platform, where it's like a solid board?
In
How does that work? What's the differences there?
in Olympics, it's only platform and it's 10 meters,
Okay.
and a springboard it's only 3 meters. We also have 1 meter like a springboard, but we don't have in Olympics. We don't have that. We don't have that. We only do 3 meters springboard.
Okay.
And in platform for training, we have 7 meters, 5 meters, 3 meters, sometimes 1 meter and 10 meters. But you only use that to prepare your dives for 10 meters, which is like
Okay.
the the one, you know. And
Yeah.
springboard is the same. You use 1 meter to do the basics for the dives on 3 meters, which you compete like the elite, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The pool's depth doesn't usually change or doesn't change a lot. So
You
can you
know
talk
what?
about?
There is talking about that. There is one pool in Dubai,
Mm-hmm.
which is like a how do you say espejo?
A mirror.
Or yeah, it's like a kind of mirror. So this is like the this is the platform, 10 meters, 3 meters, 1 meter, and behind that pool there is another pool like just the same, like 10 meters,
Interesting.
and you can dive like in both of the pools because there is two
Okay.
pools. Yeah, it's that's amazing because in a lot of competitions, you know, there is like in a World Cup on in the worlds there is a lot of like many divers, like many
Mm-hmm.
divers, so we can train all together, so you need more
Yeah.
space. So that's amazing. I mean, we don't have that in, I think there is the only pool who has that in Dubai, but it's, I mean, it's Dubai and they have like everything, but yeah, that would be amazing. Maybe more like the pools will be more big, like bigger, so
Mm-hmm.
you can have more like more springboards. Sometimes you just
Okay.
have like three, like for more maybe four, but you could like, that would be better if they will have more springboards or platforms.
Okay. Does the water have to be completely still in order for the diver to perform their dive?
No, they
Okay.
in the pool, in the corner of the pool, we have like this tiny, the little, how do you say, chorro, like this.
Like a little stream of water, I guess, that's
Yeah,
coming in.
yeah, because if you are in the pool and the pool is like super like quiet or super like, yeah, still,
Still.
you lose. Like you don't have your you need to be like, you need to see movement,
Okay.
so you can see where is the water, because if
Mm-hmm.
you see like still, you only see the floor, you don't see
Interesting.
the actual water. Yeah, that's so that.
That's wild.
And if you don't have that, the water, someone like throw the water and move the water so you can dive, because you don't see, you only see the floor, you don't see the water. So yeah.
That I don't know the science behind that, but that there's got to be some really cool science behind like your depth perception
Yeah,
and
exactly.
just vision as to
And
why that happens.
the perspective is important, because if you don't have that, you lose yourself in dives. Like
Yeah.
you need to see, like when you jump you see the water, and if you do a flip, like one flip, you need to see the water so
Mm.
you can like, you see like water, it's one jump,
Okay.
one flip. So if you see water, it's two flips. So you need to see everything. If you don't see,
Wow.
you lose. Like you doesn't know where you at.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to, you have your points, you know, when you open your dive, we say like that, when you open your dive to stop your dive, you need to see the point, the exactly, like the exactly point to open your dive so you can go like super good in the water.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is so cool to have this conversation because I would have never thought. My assumption was that you wanted it flat so there's no disruption, but it's interesting that you actually need it
Yeah.
so you can see and tell your body what you needed to do in the moment.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you're sharing that with us. But I was going to ask too then, so let's say you're in a pool that only has one side. The depth doesn't really change, but you could be jumping from higher. Is there any like technique, or I'm sure it's a science in the way that you stop yourself to prevent yourself when you're going from very high from hitting the bottom, or is it deep enough that that's not an issue?
No,
How,
it's deep enough.
okay,
A lot of pools are 5 meters. I don't know how many
okay.
feet.
So 15 feet? Yeah.
I think, yeah. I think, yeah. So no, the thing is that when you do a dive, that I told you before, you do this with the water, but your
Mm-hmm.
body, this is the water, and your body doesn't go into the, like your body doesn't go to the floor. Your body do like this.
Okay.
So the water goes with your body.
Mm-hmm.
so you don't do the splash with the water, so you don't go to the to so deep. You just
Okay.
do it like this, so you cut the water. Yeah,
Interesting.
it's deep enough, so you don't have problem with that.
Okay. Cool. It's fascinating. Is there something that you really want to do to impact the sport, or that you have done to be a game changer in the sport?
Well, today I'm the youngest diver in Mexico. Well, not diver, but I think I'm the youngest Olympian in
Hmm.
Mexico. Yeah, I
Wow.
went when I was 15 years, so I am the youngest. And well, I mean, right now I'm preparing myself to go to these Olympics in Tokyo.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, I would love to train hard to get the next Olympics in
Yeah.
Paris 2024.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's a long journey, and it been a long, but and it's crazy because at first when I qualified to the Olympics, I did platform, and now
Hmm.
for my shoulders and everything, I changed my event, which is a springboard, which is
Okay.
super, it's hard. It's harder than platform because in platform you just jump, you know.
Hmm.
It's more the about that you have to be brave to jump that
Okay.
high. But in a springboard, it's a lot of patience, a lot of control of your body. You
Hmm.
need to be one with the board, like you
Okay.
be connected with him, because it's like, I don't know, you have to love it. But it's really, it was a, I changed that, and it was hard for me because it was super different. But right now I'm super motivated, and I want to go to these Olympics. I want to do the cycle for the next Olympics. And
Okay.
yeah, I think I did I mean, right now I know that I'm the youngest in Mexico to go to Olympic Games.
That's
Yeah.
great. So a lot of people were actually asking that question. So everyone that asked, yes, she is training to go to Tokyo, and she's training for, wants to train for Paris.
Yeah.
So los que estaban preguntando sobre Tokio, sí está entrenando para Tokio y también para París en el 24.
Cuatro. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I'm going to Tokyo, but I think it's going to be after the Olympics. I might have to change
Really?
the dates to go see you if you make it.
Oh, that would be
That would be wonderful.
yeah.
Great. And then, is there anyone that you really admire in the sport? That is
Yeah.
it a role model or that you just admire?
Yeah, I think there's a type of pattern in the way that I people I admire the act, and it's I love Serena Williams.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I love Michael Phelps,
Hmm.
Michael Jordan. I already I saw the Last Dance. Is so,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
like
great.
the mental. It's like it's amazing.
Hmm.
Rafael Nadal.
Okay.
So I think they want the perfection. The way I
Hmm.
see it, they want the perfection. And my sport, it's all about perfection, and
Okay.
I think they always want to be perfect. They don't get, I mean, they get tired, but they choose to get tired because they choose to be perfect. And
Hmm.
I want to be perfect. I want to be my best self. So yeah, I like to see them. I like to hear about them. I like watching videos of them training. I know that they have what they have because they train hard and because they don't quit. And I know that because right now I'm not like them, but right now I can say that my career wasn't easy,
Yeah.
and that I have what I have because I train really hard and because I don't quit. So I admire them and they inspire me, and I just want to be my best self.
I love that. I think they're very focused just
Exactly.
in general, not only when they're training, but I think of the Michael Phelps moment when it was like literally like a fingertip in which
Yeah.
he won that just split second of focus, that one
Anything.
extra repetition that when nobody was watching he did could have made that difference.
Exactly. And that's the deal. I mean, if you just work hard and do what you need to do, and you can stop and think like, what am I doing? Maybe the best diver in the world is training right now.
Hmm.
So I want to be the best. I need to train. I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to sleep. I need to rest. I need to good
Hmm.
good. I need to, it's a lot of things. It's not just training for training, or it's not
Yeah.
just going to the pool for hours just for being in the pool and saying that, hey, I'm going to the pool. It's like you need to rest. You need to go the physio. You need to go with my psychology,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of like things that I think they need to be the best. So yeah, I think they are very focused on everything, not just
Hmm.
not just sport. I think Michael Phelps has a lovely family. Serena Williams the same. So I think they do good and they work hard for what they want. So I want to do that.
Okay. I love it. I know you're gonna get after that.
Thank you.
So I saw a lot of supporting comments about that you're gonna do well and that
Thank you.
they like that about you. Y mucho apoyo para Caro, en lograr su meta, ir a Tokio y a París. So I love all of that. And so one of the things that I always ask, and we kind of touched on it a little, so if you've already answered it, that's okay. You can just let us know which one is the one you want the most. But I like to ask all of our guests, if you had a magic wand and you could get all of our first students that are working on science and technology and sports this season to create one thing for your sport, what would that be? And maybe just to think again, remember that some of the students are very young. So it could be
Yeah.
something that's very futuristic, that sounds very crazy right now. What would you want them to work on for you?
I think right now, because I crush on the board, I think that would be amazing because
Hmm.
I'm one of, I don't know, 10. Like there is not, it's not common, but it is like it could happen.
Yeah.
And it could happen in the back. It could I mean, it could be bad.
Yeah.
So right now I think the best that they could do to help us will be the different material for the platform. That would be,
Okay.
because it has to be super delgado. How do you say?
Very thin.
It has to be super thin, because if it's like too not thin, grueso,
Too thick.
you can jump good. You can't. Um, it's just not. It doesn't even look good.
Okay.
So it has to be like super super. How's the word?
Thin or thick?
Thin.
Which one?
Yeah,
The thin?
thin. Yeah.
Yeah, thin.
It has to be like that, and it has to be super soft.
Okay.
So if you can crush on that, you just don't hit yourself too bad.
Yeah.
That would
Okay.
be amazing. Or
Yeah. So
maybe in the springboard, if you're too close, like if you're too close to the springboard, they could have like a sensor,
a sensor.
like a sensor
Hmm.
that if the springboard feel that you're close, the springboard just move.
Oh, interesting.
So you can hit like me.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
So
No
you'd have
more.
to find a way to be able to retract the springboard
Yeah,
at least a couple inches, if
yeah.
not more. And there would be a sensor on the edge of it that would determine if the athlete is rotating too closely to it, and then it would move back. That is pretty awesome. So I think teams, you
You can do
have your idea now.
it while I still diving. You can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry.
I love your additions and the rules into when the innovation can come.
Yeah,
But I think that's genius, and I wonder where else that could be applied. What are other situations where you might want to be able to remove something quickly
yeah,
to protect someone? So all of our teams, again, from the time that students are around 10 or 11 years old, the students in our programs are already getting exposed to different types of sensors. Sensors that look for color, sensors that use ultrasonic, which uses sound, sometimes light sensor, gyro sensors. So they're very experienced with sensors from a very young age. So there may be some teams that get excited about this idea. And even if it's not this exact application, I like the concept of how could you move something to prevent an unwanted impact that
Exactly.
could be
Avoid
beyond just diving. Maybe it starts in diving, but then it has other applications.
Yeah, you can avoid a lot of accidents if you do that. Jay,
Yeah.
save a lot of lives.
Thanks to you, Caro. Thanks to your diving idea. And your broken nose happened for a
Yeah,
reason then.
that
Oh man, that's great. So if teams work on something like this, are you okay with them tagging you on their
yeah,
ideas and
sure. And I will share.
okay.
Love.
Great. So it's Caro M Sunshine underscore,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah,
Is that the same on Twitter? And then I know you're amazing
yeah.
on TikTok as well. So
Thank you.
is it the same on all of those?
Thank you. Yeah, it's the same.
Okay, same handle. So if you want to follow Gato, make sure you check her out here on TikTok, on Twitter, wherever, or sorry, on Instagram, on Twitter, wherever you want to connect. And if you do come up with an idea or we're working on something
I'm gonna think.
similar,
Yeah,
yeah, whether that's the sensors or the materials or the towel,
yeah,
definitely make sure to tag her. And if she likes your idea, she'll share it around and see what the diving world
yes.
thinks about it. That's my goal with this series is that one of the students or many of the students will be inspired by some of the things we talk about. And then whether that's this year or years from now, they are then inspired to do something that then changes that sport or is applied even somewhere else. And so thank you for all of your ideas on that. And
You-
so I want to close with one question about perseverance. And I know you've had the broken nose. I'm sure you've had other challenges and heartbreaks at times. Even just coronavirus and the
yeah,
pandemic, how that has impacted people in the pursuit of their goals, changing the date of the Olympics. There's so many different factors that go into being an elite athlete. And so, what are some of the tips that you would share in terms of perseverance and continuing on when things get difficult for students or when they're not as motivated?
yeah. Well, I think there will always be obstacles and barriers, like in life, not only in sport, not only in the job. I mean, life is hard, and we already know that. So we need to accept that, and I mean, you can't change the facts. You know,
Mhm.
you have what you have. So it's better when you act with what you have, and you just focus on your goals, and you just work hard. Like you can do whatever you want if you work hard, if you still focus on that, if you just do whatever you need to do. Just be good with you and the people around you. Always be like grateful with what you have, and accept that the facts are the facts. And I mean, the COVID is here,
Yeah.
but we can't change that. We can't change the COVID. We can change my broken nose. We can change anything. So what you gonna do? You know,
Mhm.
you need to work with what you have.
Yeah.
A lot of people work in the like home office, and they still working. When in the pandemic, I used to train at home. I don't have a pool in home, but I used to work with with the water, like doing like a squat with the water. Like you can, there is always a way. There is always a way, and if you are focused on what you want and you're like super confident of that you can do it, no one else can take you that. So you need to work on that and stay conscious of every move and choice that you are gonna do.
I love that. That is golden tips for everyone. And focus on what you can control. Keep moving towards your
Like,
goal, even if the world around you doesn't seem like it wants you to get there. As long as you want to get there, you'll
exactly,
find a way.
because sometimes we think that it's the worst, like the world is against us, and
Mhm.
you think that sometimes the things happen for a reason, and sometimes we think like, oh my god, this is the worst that could happen to me. But no, I think and I believe that every time it's happening the best. because you deserve the best. And at the moment, you don't understand, but once you get like the moment, and once you get like, I don't know, maybe a couple of weeks, you understand what happened, and you understand why, and you understand that there was a reason, and you are here because of that, and it's better. So you need to, like, I love to think that there is always happening like the best is happening right now, even if I don't feel it in that moment, or even if I don't care that, you know. So you need to just go with the flow, and stay positive about everything.
I love it. Any last message for the Spanish speakers that joined us? Anything you want to share with them really quick in español?
Pues que siempre va a haber barreras, siempre va a estar difícil el camino, no siempre, pero muchas veces va a ser así, y que no se rindan, que siempre luchen por lo que quieren, que mientras estén seguros de lo que quieren lo van a lograr, no dejen que nadie les diga que no pueden, porque siempre hay una manera, siempre hay una forma de hacer las cosas, siempre se puede, siempre y cuando estés tú enfocado en lo que quieres y trabajes duro por lo que quieres, lo vas a lograr. Y disfruten de lo bueno, de lo malo, que todo pasa y nada dura, así que trabajen por lo que quieren y lo van a lograr.
Me encanta, me encanta. Y para todos los que están en México, como dije anteriormente, FIRST es una organización excelente para niños que quieren practicar robótica, que están interesados en ciencias, en matemáticas. Este año la temática es sobre los deportes, por eso estamos hablando sobre la ciencia detrás de los deportes. Pero hay equipos por todo México, eventos en Monterrey, en Ciudad de México, por todas partes de México. So, si tienen hijos e hijas, sobrinos, lo que sea, que pues pueden seguir la cuenta o buscar en el sitio web información sobre FIRST y FIRST Level League. Pues es
Sí,
una sesión excelente.
después yo voy a compartir esta entrevista con Jay, y voy a ir a robar a la cuenta de First en México también, para que los que estén interesados, ya sea que se tengan que inscribir o lo que sea, o pidan informes ahí. Creo que hay mucho talento en México también en ese aspecto. Creo que hay muchos niños que también tienen esa ilusión y ese sueño de guiarse para ese lado, y creo que el apoyo ahí está, solo hace falta que lo compartamos. Entonces ahorita yo, saliendo esto, lo comparto, y ojalá se puedan unir a esta gran iniciativa.
Perfecto. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for your time, for your great
Thank
ideas.
you.
I can't wait to see a team say like, hey, Caro, look what we worked on,
Yeah,
and send it your way. And I can't wait to go visit an event with you
yeah,
once they're in person again
you know,
in
you're
Mexico.
here in Mexico, tu casa es mi casa.
Gracias. Can't wait. Thank you again, Caro, and we will keep in touch, and we will see you at an event in 2022.
Please, thank you,
Ciao.
Jay.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good one. Bye.
Thank you.